bro, why is there a tree in space? And hey, it's Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. You know, this is a pretty terrifying scenario, but for some reason I have a feeling these guys can handle it. Hey fellas, Onus here, and welcome back to With a Y. And recently there has been another Deltarune trend on the horizon. Sorry, I've been gone for like 2 weeks. I only recently got back from vacation and I've been playing catch up. But this whole thing originates from the Forgotten Man, or the man behind the tree. If you're on this video, I have no idea how you couldn't be familiar with this, but basically through every chapter of Deltarune, there is some section of the game where you essentially running back and forth between a door or entryway, and you'll run into a scene like this. There is a man here. He offers you something. Yes, you received the egg. He gives you 5 eggs throughout the duration of the normal route in the game, and his signature iconography is this tree that, like, he completely disappears from behind after he's given you the egg, and it says, well, there is not a man here. People have taken to calling him the Forgotten Man, and pretty much every chapter, the way that you get the egg has just gotten more and more elaborate and reveals more and more about Chris's backstory in the game before you, the soul, decided to hijack their body. We've learned tons of stuff, like that they went to art therapy because of like some sort of potentially violent incident in their childhood, and just a whole swath of shit like that. And because these sequences have like the atmosphere of a place that you're not even really supposed to find, even within the context of the game, it's like a 2% RNG chance in most of the places that you can get it. People have been playing with the thought of, hey, what if these things showed up in other games? I wanted to showcase some of my favorites here because a lot of people have been making custom assets and creating custom music versions of the Forgotten Man's theme in like the sound fonts of other games. From It's Sarah, you have like a fire red and leaf green variant. Yeah, those lavender tone notes just really fucking work for this sort of thing. But we're starting off on the tamer end over here. Like, a top-down turn-based RPG seems like the first place you jump to insert some shit like this. Evan Tube's Lego Star Wars one was one of the first, like, 3D modeled ones I saw, and I was a big fan of it, because it mostly seems like this could actually be made out of Legos in real life. Like, you could feasibly create this configuration if you wanted to, with the exception of these 2 flat Lego tiles on top of one another, which makes me want to explode into a billion pieces and scar whoever is in front of me at the time. From Ultra Kill God, take one guess what game this guy decided to put the tree in. The man is no longer here. I reckon it would have been hard to make like a level you can actually traverse around for this particular video, but I'm a fan of this one because of how ominous the framing is from just the screenshot. I think it almost benefits from it because it leaves a lot to your imagination. Like, doing this in a truly 3D space is kind of impossible because the whole gag of the Forgotten Man is that he's off-screen, hidden behind a tree from all angles, and when you're done talking to him, he completely disappears. You'd have to do a little more wizardry to pull off the same sort of illusion inside a 3D space, I imagine. I do like this Minecraft one from iSammer, because it has a little motion to it. Like, this feels like the sort of thing you'd find on Wallpaper Engine just kind of hanging out. The use of only blocks that are actually in Minecraft to create the image is fun, and that feasibly, like a Minecraft person or Herobrine could hide behind the stump. The thing is, I'm gonna have to G-check you on one thing. I want to see the flat grass world that you created the note block composition out of, otherwise I'm gonna call you a cheater for using FL Studio or some other DAW. Making music isn't real and you're lying about it. The thing is, like, this just migrated to places that weren't even games. Owen with a game over here did have his own version, but wasn't expecting this one to show up so soon. Hey, it's fucking SpongeBob! Doing it in the SpongeBob flutes just takes away a little bit of the eeriness, and that's not a criticism, to be clear. It just feels like, yeah, if they were gonna have some ARG-esque shit in an episode of SpongeBob, this is probably as gnarly as it was gonna get in the whole thing. And because there's such a recognizable image of a tree in SpongeBob, maybe the only image of an above-ground tree to work from, it does have this kind of corrupted nostalgia feeling to it that I personally appreciate. Does anyone remember this Essence tree? Man, I need to fucking finish Hollow Knight, man. I am so far behind on this shit. Having a 1225 Geo is a very nice touch that I appreciate. Like, we have to remember that, like, this is originally coming from Deltarune and all the backstory implied in that game, so it's fun to see it referenced completely in other games. And you had some people, like, doing some headcanon imagination about what was actually being implied by this trend. Some people have theorized that the Forgotten Man behind the tree is Chris's therapist, and Chris's therapist was Gaster, but the version that was in Deltarune, not the one from Undertale. So would the version of the Forgotten Man Man hiding behind the tree be just other remnants of Gaster spread across space and time? Like, he already has hella IRL feet, so it's not impossible that he could worm his way into the code of other games. Or is there like a distinct Forgotten Man to every single game that he appears in with its own backstory? And you can run a little wild on that premise with the individual lore of the games that like this thing is being inserted into. One thing I really don't like about Deltarune fans though is the fact that they make fucking everything about themselves. Who the fuck is this guy just deciding to put the Forgotten Man in this game? Deltarune fans have gotten fed more than well enough. That has to be the worst remix of the Forgotten Man theme I've heard this entire time, dude. Like, fuck, stick to your little lane. Could you, like, just make your little, like, Chapter 5 flowery jokes or say that it's in the lake one more time, dude? Like, Jesus Christ. Deltarune fans always have to make every trend about themselves. I've never played Counter-Strike 2. I only have a few hours on CSGO. But one thing I appreciate about what Phlox was doing over here was they made an actually, like, 3D traversable little area for this Forgotten Man gag. Just found the weirdest bug on Inferno, guys. How did this glitch get in the game? Let's go! Dude, you better put that fucking karambit away before I get flashbacks to CSGO surfing commentary. And they have like a little Chris Deltarune as their profile picture in there. It's a cute little detail, man. I'm enjoying myself. I mean, is that against the fucking law? From Insigner, a musician, they didn't really have like a game they were sticking this shit into. They just decided to put a banger on my timeline. That reactive background is doing things to my brain chemistry. I'm a big fan of cool visuals like this, even if they are just being murdered by Twitter compression. It is unfortunately a necessity if you want so many of these things to be able to exist on the site at once. I think I'm gonna have to pick this one as my favorite though, because it is like not just the last game that I would think somebody would even imagine a scenario like this for, but if you were to somehow conceptualize it as an idea, where do you even fucking begin? Look at this. Tater, put it in goddamn Wordle! Well, there is a man here, and the guesses for the word of the week were patterned to look like the tree the man was behind. Quick note, dude, you absolutely sold on this Wordle, dude. Like, you didn't even guess 5-letter words for most of the slots. Are you a fucking idiot? I don't remember this in City Trial. Dude, Kirby's just gonna swallow a Forgotten Man whole and just become completely lost to time and space. I feel like the only weakness Kirby might ever have in any media is if you force them to absorb something that, when integrating its powers, just make it so that they can't get back to their original state. Then again, there's probably like some crazy feat they have there where somebody literally tried that and there was a failsafe Kirby has built somewhere into their insane biology that just allows them to keep on keeping on. This one hit particularly hard for me because I'd only played Regretivator for the first time recently and found myself enjoying it a lot more than I thought I ever would. From Honey Soda, well, there is a floor here. In the setup of Regretivator, where you have to get back in the elevator to go to a new floor every time, is almost perfect for this exact format of shitpost. Like, you open up the doors and, oh, there's a goddamn tree there that I've never seen before. I better go and interact with it. I sure hope that this thing doesn't instantly kill me upon touching it. Yeah, not enough subtle Deltarune references in this one, though. I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10, buddy. Try again next time if you want to not have an absolutely scorching review put upon your work that you did for fun and for the entertainment of others at no cost. I also like this one from Redacted 5743. You do have them sticking the 1225 in here, as is pretty much required by law when covering this topic. The motions they get on the tree are really good and match. I don't know if they're a little too high definition for the original Mario game, but I kind of don't give a fuck because the sprite art on it looks really fucking tasty. And they even managed to make the illusion work by having it so that Mario can run behind the tree when he goes to grab the egg. Now, how did you know that was gonna be there, Mario, you tricky little buffoon? God, I fucking hate you and don't trust you for shit. I remember the Matt Pet video where he called you a psychopath, and I never stopped believing that is canon. Another Minecraft one I saw someone do kind of interprets the Forgotten Man being in the game not as like an accessible Easter egg, but as one of those ominous pixelated paintings you can actually get in the game world that implies something about like the type of person who would have painted it in the context of living in the Minecraft universe without like explaining it at all. This is from Delivrion. This is the full res painting that they did, and Steve has already gotten his egg and is walking away with it thinking, I'm gonna bake a fucking cake. And then the implication is that Herobrine is behind the goddamn tree. I've seen people draw parallels to Herobrine as an urban legend to the Forgotten Man, with the distinct difference reference that Forgotten Man is actually like a concept in the game of Deltarune, but I just like how much this works out. And the pixelated version of the painting is so effective because you can pretty much tell what everything is still, but the man behind the tree is just obscured to 2 lines of pixels that color match to Steve's shirt, so it really couldn't implied to be anything else. Like, fuck me, it worked. I hope like Deliverion works that into a resource pack at some point. That would be so cool. From Rejuvenation Trivia, I think this was in a fan game or some shit, but somebody just turned Torterra into the Dark Candy tree from Deltarune Chapter 1, and it works. I like it. I think the My Singing Monsters one from Nova over here has a very entertaining one, because Chris Deltarune is just a puppet on strings, which probably doesn't relate to themes and such or anything of the sort. I think they're also accurately playing the piano if you just like, you know, forget what an octave is. And there are a ton more of these out there like this. Feel free to tell me about your favorites in the comments. I am a big fan of this trend. It feels almost like the reverse of Susie with Chris going, where the fuck are we? And instead, Deltarune is coming to the other games. It's very amusing to me. Anyways, that's all I got. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at @withany. That email's in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on. Anyways, piss off.